everybody, it's Homestead Tessie, and today we're in the kitchen, and this is the food bank reject. What? Food bank reject? What in the world is this video about? Well, I'm going to share with you all of this food I got from the food bank, but let me explain a little bit, and let's backtrack just a moment. As most of you know, I do a lot of volunteer work for the local food bank, and my boss is in charge of different food banks, and he has the opportunity to go to all kinds of warehouses and to get food for these food banks. But there's one catch. The people at the food banks, they don't like to reject food. They don't like throwing food away, but there are certain foods that they cannot put out on the food bank. And what is that? Wait till you see all the amazing food that I have. This food, for one reason or another, they cannot place in the food bank. Now, none of it is on recall or anything like that, because they're very, very strict about all that. But I'm going to show you on a little trip. I'm going to be going to pick up one of the rejected foods, and you'll see why they can't put that into their food bank. In case of dried milk. And it's so much of it that our local food bank said it's way too much food. They're not ever going to be able to get rid of all of this because for some reason, dried milk does not go off the shelves. Nobody ever gets it. They don't want it. Most people want the milk that's already, in the store. But I like dried milk because I'm going to teach you and show you ways that you can extend your milk and you won't even know it. 1 cup of dried milk to 4 quarts of water will produce 1 gallon of milk. If you add that gallon of milk and add a half gallon of the regular milk to it, it will extend your milk and you won't even taste the difference in flavor. So I have all of this milk I'm going to put in for long-term storage. The way it's packaged today is it's packaged in plastic. This is not long-term storage. This will expire in about 2 years. If you put it in a Mylar bag with oxygen absorbers, that will be 15 years. Or if you put it in jars with oxygen absorbers, that will last 5 years. Now this is based on the government's regulations on long-term storage. I thought I had Mylar bags. I only have one big one. So we are going to put them in some of these jars with oxygen absorbers. If you keep it in a cool, dark place, this milk will last me 5 years. This was all going to be thrown away into the landfill because they simply had no way to get rid of it. They got a case of this, but I got one of them because this was accidentally cut with the box cutter. And then of course, if it's cut, they cannot put it on the shelf. So we're going to do that. Also, I got cases of bananas, which I dried. That is finished back here. And you're going to see how you can take food and you can use it for long-term storage. Now, I know not everyone has the opportunity that I have to get this kind of food for free that was going to be thrown away. But I'm hoping that you can glean some information about maybe long-term storage of milk, or maybe you get food boxes. A lot of people that watch my videos go to the food bank. A lot of times they'll have things like this in the food bank and they really don't know what to do with it. I'm going to be working on a whole series of videos on making food from food bank boxes because it's always a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and a lot of times people don't know what to do with it. What about canned pork? A lot of people get the government canned pork. What do you do with it? I'm going to show you how you can take food boxes from the food bank and you can make delicious meals out of them. So now let's open up all of this dry milk and let's start pouring it into my glass jars. When you add an oxygen absorber to this, it will actually seal the jar. So it will take all the air out, and that is what's really important, is to make sure for long-term storage you don't have any air in your jars. So let's get working on it. All right, so we have everything finished, and I'll pan my camera down and show you. Now, this is oxygen absorbers. Once we open this bag, we only have a few minutes to put all of them into our jars because they will absorb the oxygen. So we cannot keep this open for very long. I have all of my jars ready. We're going to place 1 packet in the quarts and then 2 packets in the 2 quarts. These are the cornflake crumbs. And as you've seen in videos that I made previously, I use these and I got them free as well from the food bank. So we're gonna put them in there, and then we have our milk here, and then we'll have everything set up for at least 5 years. So this will be 5 years, and then the rest of the milk I put in 1 Mylar bag that I had left. That should be last us for about 10 years. So let's open up our oxygen absorbers and let's put them in really quickly. I try to use up all the absorbers in the bag when I'm doing a project like this. If not, then you have to go ahead and reseal the bag really quickly. Now, the only thing is you do not want to use oxygen absorbers in any kind of sugar. That will make them rock hard. So rock hard sugar will be very hard to take out of your jars. So do not use oxygen absorbers in sugar. Some people go to the Dollar Tree and buy the hand warmers. It's basically the same idea. All right, and we'll put 2 in each one of these. They're getting warm already. I can feel them. They're getting warm already. I can feel them. And then we have 2 in this one yet. And this is the whole wheat. All right, so here we go. We got all the cracker ones. And these. Camera doesn't show all of it. I have so much. Now we have 1 big Mylar bag, and I'm going to throw probably the rest of the absorbers in there. Let me go ahead and move everything around so we can bring the bag up here. And this one I'll use right away. I had no lid for it. I ran out of big gallon jars, so I'm trying to use everything I have left. All right, now we have this bag. It is a big 5-gallon bag, and it's about 2 gallons of it. I'm going to take what's left. I know it's a lot more than what's needed. That's okay, because I don't have any other use for them at the moment. We're going to fold this bag up. I was going to cut the bag, but I thought, better not. You can cut your bags and use them and just seal them with an iron. But this, I thought I'll do it like this. Make sure we get all the air out. The air's already coming out of this one. That's great. All right, so now we're going to make sure that we label everything. We'll go ahead and label everything, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, so here is another thing that I got. Now these bananas are looking really good, but the food pantry is only open 1 day a week. So by the time the next week rolls around, these will be too ripe. So I was running my dehydrator and I was dehydrating the bananas for the last 2 days. I gave a case of them away and I got a case. So it's things like these that they look really nice, but they won't last very long and they'll perish. So they had 7 cases and they had to get rid of 5 cases at the food pantry, and I got 2 cases. So these are what's left over. I'm going to freeze some of these, and we're going to be doing a lot of baking in the next weeks to come. And these are the ones that I dehydrated. Now these will last long term. I'm going to go ahead and take them off the trays, and then I'm going to try to find a place to put them. I probably will put them in mason jars with absorbers as well, because I want them to last a long time. Bananas and fresh fruit, as most people know who go to the food bank, is very hard to find. But I am so thankful that I was able to get these bananas, but you know, it could be another half a year before I get bananas again. And I want to make sure that I use everything up to the fullest potential. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know many people request videos like these on how you can take food that may have been past their date and you can make them almost new again by just preserving them or learning how to store things long term. Keep watching. We have many more tutorials and educational videos coming your way. Bye, everybody.